Turning to immigration now, CBS News reports that President Trump is planning to use a law from 1798. He talked about this on the campaign trail to help carry out deportations to Guantánamo Bay. That part he didn't necessarily reference. I want to bring in CBS News immigration reporter Camila Montoya Galvez, who joins us from New York. What do we know?
Hi, Major. Well, we know that according to U.S. officials, President Trump is preparing to invoke the Alien Enemies Act of 1798 as early as tomorrow to fast-track the deportation of certain migrants who are in the country illegally. We are told by U.S. officials that the targeted group is expected to be suspected members of the Tren de Aragua prison gang, which is comprised mostly of Venezuelan nationals. That obviously has been a focal point of the president's sweeping crackdown on illegal immigration. And we are told that U.S. officials, Major, have already made internal plans to send suspected members of this gang from Venezuela to Guantanamo Bay to hold them there and then deport them under the Alien Enemies Act, which, of course, is a law that was really just passed by Congress and signed into law 22 years after the Declaration of Independence. And it has been rarely invoked. One of the few times was in World War II when the government at the time used it to surveil and detain immigrants from Japan, Germany, and Italy who were in the U.S. And this would allow the government, Major, importantly, to summarily detain and deport migrants subject to the law without any of the due process protections outlined in U.S. immigration law, because they would be treated as enemy aliens. So this is just the latest attempt by the administration to really test the boundaries and really the firewalls in U.S. law to achieve its immigration goals.
Because the classification under this law would mean you are enemies of the state, enemies in almost a condition of war, vastly expanding the federal powers to deny due process. Do I have that right?
That's right. They would be considered wartime enemies of the state.
Also, you've gotten readouts from those in Immigration, Customs, and Enforcement about capacity for those who have been deported or are awaiting deportation, are being detained. What is it?
Well, ICE, as you know, Major, has been charged with carrying out the largest deportation operation in American history, and it has ramped up immigration arrests across cities in the U.S. So far, since the president took office, the agency has arrested about 33,000 immigrants across the country, but ICE is quickly running out of space to hold the detainees it has arrested. Some people have been released because of these bed space constraints, and now the agency detention space is at 120% capacity. And so ICE, Major, as we speak, is turning to other federal agencies like the Department of Defense, the Federal Bureau of Prisons, and others to build sufficient and additional detention space. But they're facing the same operational challenges that, as you know, have bedeviled Republican and Democratic administrations on this issue.
Camila Montoya Galvez, always with the specifics and the perspective. Thank you very much.